morning, all of you. Today we will start with a new topic in English grammar, non-finite verbs. Alright, this you will find on page 24. So turn your books to page 24. Non-finite verbs. Now you must have heard that there are two kinds of verbs, finite verbs and non-finite verbs. So first and foremost, we'll have a look at what are finite verbs and what are non-finite verbs, and then we will see the different kinds of non-finite verbs. Okay, so finite verb. Now what would be a finite verb? Which will change according to the number and person of the subject. Number means
Numerical value.
yes,
Value. Ma'am, numerical. Ma'am, 1, 2, 3.
we are talking about noun number. Noun number. Yes. 1, 2, 3.
No, ma'am.
Then what does show number in noun?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, ma'am, when we count some, few, many.
Beta, noun.
Mm,
In nouns you study gender. In nouns you study number. Yes. Never heard about singular and plural?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So what is singular number? It is called singular number, plural number, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, number with
So
the same.
what is singular? Singular number?
Anything. Ma'am, when we talk one, ma'am, about one.
Okay, about one. And plural?
Ma'am, anything. Ma'am, more than two. Ma'am, more than one.
More than one. Okay, so more than one would be plural.
No quantity.
And person of the subject. Person. Pronouns we have done.
Ma'am, gender. Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Yes. So person. Personal pronouns we have done, you remember?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
how many persons we have in personal pronoun?
Ma'am, three. Ma'am, three. Ma'am, three.
Yes, first one.
Ma'am, first person.
Yes,
I,
first person.
we, are.
Okay, so I, me, myself, we, us, they are all pronouns of the first person. So first person. Second person is
Ma'am, you, yours.
all right.
Ma'am,
So the
both yours.
person we are talking to, and third person.
Ma'am, them. Ma'am, he, she, it.
Okay,
Ma'am, we, she, it, themselves also.
right. The person we are talking about, that is the third person. So first person is the person speaking, second person is the person being spoken to, and the third person is the person we are talking about. Okay, so what would be finite verb? Verb which will change according to the number, like singular, plural, and also according to the person of the subject. Okay, so as the subject, as the person of the subject changes, the noun will change, the verb will change. As the number of the subject changes, means from singular to plural, then also the verb will change. So that is a finite verb. But what would be a non-finite verb? Which does not change. So no matter the number changes, means singular, plural, doesn't matter, the person changes but it remains the same. Then one more difference is that finite verb, it also changes according to the tense of the sentence. Tense you all know?
Yes, ma'am. Past tense, present tense, future tense. Ma'am, three tenses are there.
Okay, what does a tense denote?
Ma'am, the time when the action takes place.
Okay, so the time when a particular action takes place. So you know there are three tenses, all right, past, present and future. Though we
Future.
and we have divisions under them also. But what would be a finite verb? A finite verb would change according to the number, according to the person, and also according to the tense of the sentence, whereas the non-finite verb will not change because of all these changes. So it will remain the same. For example, my little brother, if I say my little brother wants to be an actor, okay, now I change the tense. My little brother wanted to be an actor. So the verb changed from wants to
Wanted.
okay. Their little brothers, their little brothers want to be actors. Person changed?
There.
Person
Yes,
changed?
ma'am.
Yes. So now again see the verb, it changed. It is now want. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And when I said my little brother wants to be an actor, and if I change the number, okay, if I change the number, my little brothers
Ma'am,
want to be
want.
actors, again see. So what would be finite verbs? Finite verbs are those which change according to the number and person of the subject, and also according to the tense of the subject. Alright, understood this much?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now non-finite verbs, I told you that they do not change according to any such difference. Now see, she worked hard to pass the test. She worked hard to pass the test. Here look at to pass. Okay? That is a non-finite verb. Basically it is an infinitive that we'll do later on. Then I change the tense from past to present. She works hard to pass the test. Any change?
No.
See, I changed the tense, but the non-finite verb, it remained same. To pass remained to pass. It did not change. Whereas see, worked hard changed to worked changed to works. So that is what? That is the finite verb, and to pass is the non-finite verb. So finite verb is changing, but the non-finite verb, it remains the same. Again see, she will work hard to pass the test. I again change the tense to future. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
She will work hard. So worked first changed to work, then will work, but to pass remains the same in all these sentences. It is not changing according to the tense, and even according to the according to the person. They work hard to pass the test. So whatever changes you make, the infinitives or the non-finite verbs, they remain the same, whereas the finite verbs, they undergo changes. Alright?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So now, non-finite means those who do not change according to the number, the subject or the tense of the sentence. So among the non-finite verbs, we have three: the infinitive, the gerund and the participle. First, we will have a look at the first type, that is infinitive. Now what is infinitive? Basically infinitive is the base form of the verb. Verb in its base form. Want, sing, go, do. Alright? That is the base form of the verb. Means in its present tense. That is the base form of the verb without making any changes to it. So what is infinitive? Infinitive is the base form of the verb, but preceded by the letter to. To meet. I want to meet him. She likes to sing. We have to go now. Alright? So what would be the infinitive? The base form of the verb preceded by the letter to. Okay? Now, there are other verbs also, like feel, hear, help. Alright? Now sometimes they can be used without to also. When an infinitive is used without to, it is called bare infinitive, means without the letter to. So infinitives can, the general normal infinitive is the to infinitive, okay, but sometimes we can have bare infinitive also, means we will not have to before it, like let the boy speak, they watched the snake. Now we cannot say let the boy to speak. Can we write that?
No, ma'am.
No.
No, ma'am.
All right. Then we heard her sing. So we cannot write we heard her to sing. We can say we asked her to sing. That would be correct. When I say we asked her to sing, that would be correct. But when we say we heard her, then we have to use the bare infinitive, not the to infinitive. Okay. Then infinitives, where do we use? After modal auxiliaries. We have just now, the last chapter we did primary auxiliaries and modals. Yes. So we studied about must, shall, will, should, would, may, could. All this we have done. Alright. So after modal auxiliaries, the infinitive is used without to. So if we are using the infinitive after the modals, alright, the modal auxiliaries, then we will use the bare infinitive, means without to. We will not use the to infinitive, but we will use the bare infinitive. Then after some prepositions such as except, but, save and than, the infinitive is used without to. So basically, the infinitive is preceded by to, but in some cases it is not preceded by to, and they have told you where you will not use to before the infinitive. So after certain verbs such as feel, hear, help, let, make, see, watch, the infinitive is used without to. Then after modal auxiliaries it is used without to, and after some prepositions which are mentioned here, except, but, save and then, the infinitive is used without to, means we use the bare infinitive. Okay. Now what is the function? Means why we use infinitive. So the infinitive, it can act as a subject to the verb. Subject, you all know? What is the
Yes,
subject?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is the subject?
Ma'am, in the sentence, whatever is talking about, ma'am, for whoever.
Okay.
Then the person about which the
Yes, Karthik, what were you saying?
then the thing or the object about which the sentence is.
Alright, so the object, the person or the thing we talk about, the main thing, that is the subject, and whatever we say about the subject, that is the object. Sorry, the predicate. Whatever we say about the subject is the predicate. Okay, so now infinitive can be used as the subject of the verb. See the first example here. To act is not the same thing as to react. Now, what is the verb here?
Ma'am, is ma'am act. Ma'am act. Ma'am act.
Okay, then. But here, see, though it is a verb, but here we are basically trying to tell that how it can be used as a subject of the verb. It can also be used as it is an infinitive. Obviously, it is a verb. But how an infinitive or a non-finite verb, it can be used as a subject also of another verb. How can it be used as a subject of another verb? So, without means if you leave to act, what is the next verb here?
Ma'am is. Ma'am is.
Alright. So, if you again now subject in this sentence, the infinitive is used as the subject of the verb. See, to act, what is the verb here is, what is the subject here? To act. So to act is not the same thing as to react. Now to act, it is the subject, so the infinitive can also be used as a subject, and it can also be used as the object of the verb. Now see the same sentence. To act is not the same thing as to react. So see, to react, that can also be the object. So it can be used
Yes, ma'am.
as the subject to a verb, the direct object to a transitive verb. See the second example. Jacob loves to sleep. What is the verb here? Verb.
Ma'am, loves.
Loves. What is the subject?
Sleep.
What is the subject?
Ma'am, ma'am Jacob.
And
Ma'am Jacob.
what is the object?
Ma'am, to sleep.
All right.
Ma'am, sleep.
What Jacob loves? He loves to sleep. Okay. And so see, the infinitive to sleep can also be used as an object. So it can be used as a subject. It can also be used as an object. Then as subject complement. Now complement, basically what we say, it tells us something more about the subject. So subject complement will tell us something more about the subject. The alien appears to understand us. All right. So here the verb in the sentence
Appears.
So what is it telling? See, it is telling us something more about the alien. What is it telling us about the alien? That it appears that the alien, it understands us. Alright, means it has understanding power, it can understand humans. So what it is trying to tell here, it is telling something more about the subject. The subject is the alien, and what we get to know about the alien, that they understand us. So it can also be used as the subject complement. Then turn the page. She saw him cry. Now infinitive can also be used as the object complement when it adds something more to the object. Okay, see, what is the verb here? What is the verb here?
Ma'am, saw. Saw.
What is the subject? Subject.
Ma'am, she.
She. And object.
Cry.
Object. She saw.
Ma'am, him.
She saw him. Alright. So first she saw him. Now you are telling something more about the object. She saw him how? How she saw him, that he was crying. So it is telling something more about the object. So it can also be used as this is called as the object complement. When you the word tells something more about the object. Okay, so here we are getting to know something more about the object. The object is him, and what are we getting to know about him? That he is crying. Yes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So it can also be used as the object complement. Then it can also be used as the object of a preposition. What is a preposition, by the way? Yes, anyone? What is a preposition? Noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, you know. What is a preposition?
Ma'am, the words that tell the position of a noun are prepositions.
Okay, tell the position of a noun. Anyone else? So basically,
Ma'am, it tells the place.
okay, tells a place. It sometimes we can also say that it shows the relationship between a noun and some other word in the sentence. Like you can say the book is on the table. So the relationship between the book and the table. Where is the book?
On the
On the table. So
On the
is a
table.
preposition. Okay, so now object of the verb, object of the preposition, it can also be used as the object of the preposition. It is about to what? It is about to rain. So infinitive can also be used as the object of the preposition. It can also be used as the object of the conjunction. What is a conjunction?
Ma'am, that join two sentences.
A conjunction joins two sentences.
Only two sentences? Yes, it can join two words, two sentences. Okay, so it is basically a joining word. So it can also be used as the object of the conjunction. I have no choice but. See, I have no choice but. It is the object. What is the conjunction here? Conjunction is but. What is the object of the conjunction but? To leave. So infinitive can be used in all these places. The next one is the simplest, that is gerund. Alright, it is the ing form of the verb and very easy to make out also. It performs the function of a noun. So though it is a verb, they are all verbs, all non-finites are verbs, right? But the gerund, it is an ing form of the verb, but it does the function of a noun. Okay, like if I say reading is a good hobby. Okay, so reading, it is a verb, right?
Yes.
But in this sentence, what work is it doing? Reading is a good exercise. What we are telling is that something, or reading is a good hobby. That something is a good hobby. What thing is that? Reading. So we are talking about it as a thing. And what is that? That is a noun, right? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So, what is a gerund? Gerund is an ing form of the verb that also functions as a noun. That functions as a noun. See the examples given here. I enjoy sailing. That is something you enjoy. Something you enjoy. So what you enjoy? You enjoy sailing. Ing form, and it is also doing the work of a noun. You enjoy something. What that something is? That something is sailing. Swimming is a healthy exercise. I told you a similar example. I love acting. That is something you love. So again, see, ing form of the verb and it is doing the function of a noun. So that is a gerund. Now, a gerund always functions as a noun in a sentence. So something about gerund, and that is why I told you it can very easily you can pick up a gerund in a sentence. It always functions as a noun in a sentence, and since it acts as a noun, so it can be a subject of the verb also. It can also be the direct object of a verb, or it could be a complement to a verb or the object of a preposition. So it can be both, because it is used as a noun, it performs or functions as a noun, so it can be used as a subject also, as a direct object also, or as a complement also. See, skiing brings me pleasure. What is the verb here? Brings.
Ma'am, brings.
So what brings you pleasure?
Ma'am, skiing.
Skiing.
Ma'am,
And
skiing.
see
Ma'am,
here,
ma'am,
the
skiing.
sentence also talks about skiing, so it is a subject here, and so gerund can be used as a subject. Next, I love skiing. You just change the form. I love skiing. What is the verb?
Ma'am, love. Ma'am, love.
Okay, what you love? What is the object of the verb love?
Skiing.
Skiing.
Ma'am, skiing.
Okay, so it can also be used as a direct object.
Skiing.
Then my passion is skiing. What is the verb here?
Ma'am, is.
Is.
Ma'am, is.
Okay, here it is used as the subject complement, means it is telling something about my passion. So what is my passion? My
I'm
passion is
skiing.
the subject.
I'm
Alright,
skiing.
so what is my
Skiing.
passion? My passion is skiing. So here it is used as the subject complement of the verb is, and I dream of skiing. The preposition here is of. So what I dream of? What is the object of the preposition of here? Again, it is skiing. So
Skiing.
that is how we use gerunds. Okay, so have you understood infinitives, gerunds till now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so please study this well, and for today I will stop here.